Hey guys, welcome to Crickcast, a cricket podcast. Welcome to the playoff special. We had another one-sided game of cricket, a very one-sided playoff, where Mumbai Indians literally swept aside Delhi Capitals and just got into the finals. And it was a pretty ordinary display of cricket from Delhi Capitals, whereas it was a ruthless and brutal display from Mumbai Indians' part. So joining me is Orjunda, as always. So Orjunda, I'll straight away go to you. So another complete performance from Mumbai Indians, just extending their supremacy to a different level.
Yeah, so Bombay Indians have been a team with I would say their first team with this Pandya brothers, Bumrah, and of course Rohit Sharma. So I think their first team really has been class apart. So you can just see that. Of course, the numbers are actually showing you. You can see the difference in the points table only. So also the matches they have won, most of the matches they have won one-sided only. So the band of cricket what they have played in this IPL has been extremely different from any other IPLs. If you see the trend, so they have been completely in grip. They never look like that they will not make it to the playoffs or they will have any kind of hiccups. It was a total cricket, ruthless display, I would say. And specifically the players whom they banned actually they all fired. So whether it is Bumrah, whether it was Hardik Pandya, so they all fired. So specifically also to mention Ishan Kishan. So Ishan Kishan was given a very strong role of playing as an opener. And today I would we know of course Bumrah can hit the ball hard, and the way Bumrah played today was exceptional. But I think Ishant Kishan special mention, and not to forget Surya Kumar Yadav, who is in a different zone at this point of time. So overall, not very surprising, and I think I see all the chance nobody will stop the Juggernaut rolling in the finals. Also, if SRH makes it to the final, probably Rashid Khan, if he weaves some magic, probably there can be some kind of a hiccup, but I don't see that happening because though they played in the league stage where SRH could beat them easily, but I don't think the finals will be the same if SRH makes it.
Absolutely true. That also some of just as you mentioned, like the players like Ishan Kishan and Surya Kumar Yadav and the Krunal Pandyas are just standing up tall just when they need them the most. Because especially for a season where a player like Rohit Sharma was not there, but just due to the sheer depth of the team and due to the great performances and some quality Indian players, I think they managed to just they were simply unaffected by a player like Rohit Sharma missing out. So I think Mumbai Indians is ready for the next 5-10 years, isn't it?
So, but you have to see who are the players who are actually making a difference. So, I think the match, in our friendly banters, we have been fighting hard for writing about KKR. But you have to see who are the players who are making a difference. So, clearly, if you see the players are Bumrah and Hardik Pandya, and of course, to some extent, Ishan Kishan. And of course, led by Surya Kumar Yadav, who has been very, very consistent. So, when you have around 4 or 5 players in a team who are consistently doing well, or not to forget Pollard. Pollard also played some brilliant innings, brilliant cameos in the end
Yeah,
in that tournament. So he also was in a good form. So though this kind of things do happen in cricket, but I would say, I would not say 10 years, because if you see most of the players now are probably getting into that zone of 30 plus, barring of course Surya Kumar Yadav and Ishant Kishan and couple of them, Hardik Pandyas. But the good thing is why probably next at least 2, 3, 4 years is because of Bumrah and everybody is in that 25 to 26 years bracket only. So they probably of course have 4 or 5 years of club. But having said that, if you see the way the cricket has evolved, and this IPL also very closely, people have been able to make out Nortje and Rabada. Though they started the IPL and they created a furor. Like people were not able to actually play both of them. But today I saw, but both Ishant Kishan and Hardik Pandya were playing with a plan. They had a plan in
Yeah.
hand, and I think specifically I would like to mention Hardik Pandya. Hardik Pandya today, I felt that none of the shots he played a false shot. Every shot he played, I think he hit around 4 to 5 sixes. Specifically the sixes which he hit, I think he saw the ball till the last and he cleared the fence. So which is exceptional hitting. Which is exceptional hitting. So having said that, these things are very, very I would say limited for in a player's career. So if you see probably next 3-4 years, I'm sure Hardik will have the similar kind of eyesight. But he's a more eyesight player. And unless there is some kind of things happening to his eyesight, Hardik will continue. But my only fear is probably in the next by the next IPL or by the 2022 IPL, people will be able to come out with a plan for Jasprit Bumrah. So this IPL also we saw a lot of people playing the 360-degree cricket. So I think even Bumrah will be sorted out in the next two IPLs. That's my feeling because we are rapidly changing. Rapidly we are changing. Today's innings we saw Hardik couple of balls he was playing very close to the wicket. Couple of balls he was ahead. He was he was 2-3 inches ahead of the front crease. So people will sort out so much of analytics, so much of studies are evolving now. I think more or less they will evolve. Pollard, if you see Pollard also, Pollard, I was seeing that a lot of bowlers have been able to sort out Pollard. So Pollard has also got its own limitations. Pollard also is in his fag end of his career. Maybe the next couple of years, Pollard also will be out.
Yes.
I think longevity wise, of course, 2-3 years, I can see Bombay Indians to be unbeatable. But having said that, things are moving very fast. There are people who are actually reading the cricket very, very, very closely, and I'm sure with some great cricketing brains, this team also can be tamed.
Absolutely. Now, before going to tomorrow's prediction, there is a quick question. Now, Delhi had a pathetic match. And when there is a pathetic match, you can't really single out someone. It was a team performance. It was a totally pathetic team performance. Firstly, because what I felt is there was no plan in both batting and bowling. So there was no concrete plans. So on that note, I just want to ask you: is too much expected of a rookie or too much expected from a youngster like Prithvi Shaw and too much is expected from a young captain like Shreyas Iyer, and who is committing, both of them are committing mistakes in their individual roles every now and then?
No, I would not say mistake. See, I'll tell you very honestly. Shreyas and Prithvi both have a very free-flowing type of cricket. So both of them love to play without any restrictions. So I have not seen Prithvi Shah playing with restrictions and with holding the game and playing it, making a steady innings, a Virat kind of innings, or maybe a Rituraj Gaikwad kind of innings. He's a very different player altogether. He has got range of strokes. The problem is when you have range of strokes, if you just go back to the last IPL, the same critics, the same cricketing brains like you and me, probably had said that Shreyas is a brilliant player. He has got huge range of shots.
Yeah.
He also said about Prithvi that Prithvi is the next big thing for Indian cricket. But having said that, the problem is when you have a huge range of shots, there is a high probability that you will get out also.
Yeah.
So I think somewhere they see bad times are there in cricket, and that's the way the sports is. So I think both Prithvi and Shreyas are brilliant talents. So they are brilliant talents. There is no doubt about it that Prithvi and Shreyas are not good talents. Just imagine in today's match. I'm just talking about today's match. Even if Prithvi would have stood there for around 20 balls and scored around 30 runs, and also Shreyas would have stayed for another 15-20 balls and scored another some 35-40 quick runs, I think this would have been a very, very close match. Unfortunately, both of them couldn't actually fire.
Absolutely. So, having said that, we'll go to tomorrow's predictions. So tomorrow it's another big one. It's RCB is playing Sunrisers Hyderabad. So even as an RCB fan, I don't have very much positive vibes about tomorrow's match, to be very honest. So I would like to go to you and ask you, what do you think of tomorrow's match?
So, as I felt that Delhi already has lost its team by the end of the 14th match, and finally, of course, they could make it to the playoffs, but then they have lost this team. So they probably need to regather and play, and which they couldn't do it, and finally they lost it today. So similarly, I felt that RCB is also a tired engine. So though they probably could show flashes of brilliance, but then they're also a tired engine, and I feel I feel of course it's going to be a tough match, but SRH has got an edge because they of course coming from a very strong victory, and you can see both Ridhiman and Warner the way they played. Even if one of them fires tomorrow, I think there's a great chance SRH will win, and of course there is Rashid who's a brilliant bowler. So I think it's going to be SRH all the way.
Absolutely. So we'll end today's podcast on this note. So thank you so much, Arjunda, for joining. So we'll meet at the end of tomorrow's class. Thank you so much. Good night.
Thank you.